So in Apocalypse Bringer Mynoghra, the Mynoghra kingdom is actually an evil-aligned kingdom, meaning that any citizen or any civilian under this kingdom is going to immediately align with evil. The normal citizens of the Mynoghra kingdom from the Eternal Nations game are homunculus and these creepy-looking bug things. Homunculus are exactly what they said. Thrown apart Frankensteins made by human parts. Of course, in the Eternal Nations game, we don't get to see how bad they look because they're 3D models, and 3D models never look as bad as they would in actual person. So, when Captain Gaia goes and pretty much begs Takata for some food because he ends up stumbling across the King of Ruins, or Mynoghra's king, Takata gives him food pretty much graciously. But this sparks controversy all across his village and all across the people who he's refugeeing with. Like, how could you accept food from such an evil-aligned person? There has to be something wrong with it. And Gaia also thought this. He was like, there has to be something wrong. There has to be some type of trick. But no, Takata just felt sympathetic for his situation because him and all his people are starving. So he pretty much produced a large amount of food out of mana to allow them to satiate their hunger. So when the elves come back for their second round of food, because they could only carry so much from the first round, they pretty much try to ask for, like, what type of sacrifice can you give? What can I give to you to repay you for the food? And they keep trying to say nothing and push the elves off, push the elves off, push the elves off. And they're like, we don't really want anything. But then they finally realize that the elves want to give something and they're not going to take no for an answer. So they're like, why don't you become civilians of my kingdom? Because in the Eternal Nations game, there was a refugee feature, and if you ended up activating the refugee feature, you could bring in people from other civilizations. Now, granted, these would normally clash with your normal civilians, such as the homunculus. Dark elves, which is what Gaia is, are a neutral factor, and if they join the kingdom of Mynoghra, they are going to lean towards an evil factor. But at the end of the day, since the Dark Elves has been pretty much kicked out of their kingdom, persecuted by their followers, and told that they were nothing more than scum, and was only used for assassination attempts, they ended up agreeing to join. And when they agreed to join, all their bloodlust that they ever felt towards a civilization all flooded back to them immediately. And they wanted to kill on instinct, but Takata was like, how y'all feeling? You okay? And this brought them back to reality, only to realize that the most evil being in this fucking world was the one thing saying, you okay? You good? How y'all feeling? He gave them sympathy because he actually felt sympathetic towards their plight.